Robin Hood, Chapter 9. How Robin Hood Fought Guy of Gisborne. How Robin Hood fought Guy of Gisborne. I dwell by dale and down, said he, and Robin to take I'm sworn. And when I am called by my right name, I am Guy of good Gisborne. Robin Hood's name and deed had reached the king's ears in London, and he sent word to the sheriff to capture the outlaw or lose his office. So the sheriff tried to surprise Robin Hood in the forest, but always without success. He also increased the price put on Robin's head, in the hope that the best men of the kingdom would try to capture him. There was a certain Guy of Gisborne, a hired knight of the king's army, who heard of Robin and of the price on his head, the reward. Sir Guy was one of the best men with a bow or sword in all the king's service, but his heart was black and treacherous. He obtained the king's permission to hunt down the outlaw, and he came to the sheriff at Nottingham. I have come to capture Robin Hood, said he, and mean to have him dead or alive. I will aid you gladly, answered the sheriff. How many men do you need? None, replied Sir Guy. I must go alone. But you hold your men in readiness at Barnesdale, and when you hear a blast from the silver bugle, come quickly, for I shall have the sly Robin within my clutches. It shall be done, said the sheriff, and he gave such orders, and Guy of Gisborne left Nottingham in disguise. Now, as it happened, Robin Hood and Little John had come near having a quarrel that morning, because both had seen a curious-looking fellow, and each wanted to challenge him alone. But Robin would not give way to his lieutenant, his assistant, and approached the curious-looking stranger himself. He seemed to be a three-legged creature at first sight, but on coming nearer, Robin saw that it was really nothing but a poorly clad man who had covered up his rags with the sun-dried skin of a horse, complete with the head, tail, and mane. The skin of the head made a helmet, while the tail gave the odd three-legged appearance. Ooh, how strange. It's like someone wearing the skin of a horse, and then the tail is dragging down behind, so it looks like he has three legs. How strange. Are you visualizing this? Good morning, said Robin cheerily. By the bow you bear in your hand, I reckon you should be a good archer. Fairly good, said the stranger, but it's not archery that I am thinking of this morning. I have lost my way. I could have believed it was your wits you'd lost, thought Robin, smiling. In other words, I thought you lost your marbles. Then aloud he said, I'll lead you through the woods, and you will tell me your business. Who are you to ask me my business? Asked the other roughly. I am one of the king's rangers, replied Robin, set here to guard his deer. That's not true, is it, students? Since you are a ranger, I must demand your service, returned the stranger. I am on the king's business and seek an outlaw called Robin Hood. Are you one of his men? Eyeing him keenly. Nay, God forbid, said Robin. But what want you with him? That is another tale, but I'd rather meet that proud outlaw than 40 pounds of the king's money. Robin now understood the stranger's intentions. So he understood what the stranger wanted. Money. Come with me, good sir, said he, and perhaps a little later in the day I can show you Robin's hideaways. Meanwhile, let us try our mastery at shooting arrows. The other agreed, and they cut down 2 willow branches and set them up at a distance of 60 yards. The first shot to you, said Robin. No, said the other, I will follow you. So Robin stepped forward and carelessly sent his shaft whizzing toward the wand, missing it by just an inch. The stranger in the horsehide followed him with more care, yet missed by a wider margin. On the second round, the stranger led off and landed neatly within the small garland at the top of the target. But Robin shot far better and split the branch itself clean down the middle. A blessing on you, shouted Horsehide. I never saw such shooting as that. You may be better than Robin Hood himself. But you have not yet told me your name. I must keep it secret till you have told me your own, said Robin. I am proud to tell it, said the other. I am sworn to take bold Robin, and I would tell him to his face if he were not so great a coward. I am Guy of Gisborne. He said this with such a great show of pride, and he strutted back and forth, forgetful that he had just been beaten at archery. Robin eyed him quietly. I think I have heard of you elsewhere. Do you not bring men to the gallows for a living? Ooh, and the gallows are where people are killed. Oh dear. Aye, but only outlaws such as Robin Hood. He says, yes, I do bring men to their death, but only outlaws like Robin Hood. Oh dear. But what harm has Robin Hood done you? He's a highway robber, said Sir Guy, evading the question. Evading is avoiding. He's like, oh, well, he's a robber. Has he ever taken anything from the rich that he did not give again to the poor? Does he not protect the women and the children and side with the weak and helpless? Is not his greatest crime shooting a few of the king's deer? Oh, enough of your questions, said Sir Guy impatiently. I suspect more than ever that you are one of Robin's men yourself. I have told you that I am not, said Robin briefly. Is Robin telling the truth? He's not one of Robin's men. But if I am to help you catch him, what is your plan? Do you see this silver bugle? Said the other. A long blast upon it will summon the sheriff and all his men once I have Robin within my grasp. And if you show him to me, I'll give you half my 40-pound reward. I would not help hang a man for 10 times 40 pounds, said the outlaw. Yet will I point out Robin to you for the reward I find at my sword's point. I myself am Robin Hood. Then have at you, cried the other, springing swiftly into action. His sword came from beneath the horse's hide with the speed that comes from long practice, and before Robin had chance to guard himself, Sir Guy slashed at him. Ooh, did he show chivalry, Sir Guy? Robin dodged the lunge and drew his own arrow. A foul trick, said he grimly, to strike at a man who is unprepared. Then neither spoke more, but fell to work sternly, lunge and thrust and parry to ward off a weapon or a blow. For 2 full hours, oh my goodness, for 2 full hours the weapons struck together, and neither Robin Hood nor Sir Guy would yield an inch. The fighters glared at each other, the fires of hatred burning in their eyes. One was fighting for his life, the other for a reward and the king's favor. Still the gleaming blades circled swiftly in the peaceful sunlight and hissed like maddened serpents. Ooh, simile. Neither had yet touched the other until Robin unluckily stumbled over the root of a tree, and Sir Guy, instead of giving him the chance to recover himself, as any true knight would have done, struck Robin while he was down and wounded him in his left side. Ooh, what can we infer about Sir Guy's character? This is twice now he has not used chivalry. Ah, dear lady in heaven, gasped Robin, uttering his favorite prayer, shield me now. 'Twas never a man's destiny to die before his day. And he sprang up again and came straight at Sir Guy with an unexpected stroke. The knight had raised his weapon high to give a final blow when Robin reached beneath his guard. One swift lunge, and Sir Guy of Gisborne staggered backward with a deep groan. Robin's sword through his throat. Oh dear. Robin looked at the slain man regretfully. Ooh. You did bring it upon yourself, said he. I would not willingly have killed you. In other words, I didn't mean to. I didn't want to do that. He looked at his own wound. It was not serious, so he soon staunched the blood and bound up the cut. Then he dragged the dead body into the bushes. Oh dear. Took off the horse's hide and put it upon himself. What is Robin up to? So he's taking the horse hide and putting it on himself. He placed his own cloak upon Sir Guy and marked his face so no one might tell who had been slain. Robin's figure was not too much different from Sir Guy's. Oh, so he's putting his outfit, his clothes on Sir Guy, and he's taking the costume and the disguise that Sir Guy was wearing of the horse's hide. Pulling the horse hide well over himself so that the helmet hid most of his face, Robin seized the silver bugle and blew a long blast. In 25 minutes, a score, we can see down there, a score means 20, a score of the sheriff's best archers came running up. Did you signal us? They asked, approaching Robin. Aye, said he, going to meet the puffing sheriff. What news, Sir Guy? Said the sheriff. Robin Hood and Guy of Gisborne had a fight, and he that wears Robin's cloak lies yonder. Here again, Robin is being very sly and tricky. Is he still telling the truth? He's like, you see that guy over there in the woods? The one that wears Robin's cloak is over there. The best news I have heard in all my life, exclaimed the sheriff, rubbing his hands. I wish that we could have saved him for hanging, though I cannot now complain. Oh, dear. The sheriff's like, I would have rather hanged him. But I see that you have not escaped without a scratch, continued the sheriff, becoming talkative through pure glee. Here, one of you men, give Sir Guy of Gisborne your horse. You others bury that dog of an outlaw where he lies, and let us hasten back to Nottingham. Let's get back. Let's quickly go back to Nottingham. So they put spurs to their horses, and as they rode, Robin forced himself to talk merrily. A favor, sheriff? He asked as they reached the gates of the town. Oh, get ready for this. It's a funny part. What is it, sir? You have only to ask, said the sheriff. You can ask for double your reward, and it will be yours. It isn't every man that can take Robin Hood. Oh, no, Excellency, answered Robin. I say without boasting that no man took Robin Hood yesterday, and none shall take him tomorrow. Then he blew 3 loud blasts upon his own horn, drew out his own bow, and before the astonished sheriff and his men could defend themselves, arrows were whistling in their midst. Will Scarlet and Will Stutely had been watching ever since the sheriff and Robin rode back toward Nottingham. Now in good time they came, and the sheriff's surprised force turned tail and ran, while Robin and his men sped swift arrows after them, and laughed to see them go. Ha 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 ha!